All week long, I've been exploring New York, New Orleans, and of course their differences. But if there's one thing that these two cities have in common, it's how they both have overcome enormous tragedies. They are images forever seared into the American consciousness. Two of the nation's greatest cities faced with unprecedented tragedy.
Please send somebody to help us. Please send somebody to help us.
Lives lost and lives shattered. Buildings wiped away. Chaos followed by shock, followed by unspeakable grief.
The tragedy that we're all undergoing right now is something that we've had nightmares about, but probably thought wouldn't happen.
There is no way to imagine America without New Orleans, and this great city will rise again.
In New York, it was the hatred from terrorists. In New Orleans, it was the wrath of Mother Nature and the failures of civil engineers. In one, iconic buildings reduced to rubble. In the other, 80% of a city underwater and thousands displaced.
Cynthia Rodriguez, meet your family at the message board for pickup.
But out of tragedy came a unique bond between unique cities. New Orleanians fed New Yorkers. New Yorkers helped save New Orleans.
And there is a kindred spirit between, I think, New York and the Gulf Coast because of that, because we know what it's like to be shaken to our core in our own backyard.
The memories will forever linger, and the sense of loss is always there. But the stories of Ground Zero and Katrina are now stories of recovery and rebuilding.
We're a pretty resilient people, and we know how to deal with challenges, but people feel that our best days lie ahead.
It made us even more resilient. It made us committed to do for the world, not just for the United States of America, but for the world, to show that we will prevail.
Steve Plate helps oversee the tremendous project to restore the 16-acre Ground Zero site, bringing life and commerce back to this sacred ground. With a price tag of between $15 and $20 billion, millions of square feet of office and retail space are going up here. Work that Plate says will redefine the skyline of New York City.
Essentially what we're doing in this project is building a city within a city.
The heart of the project will be a memorial and museum dedicated to the victims of 9/11. Artifacts from that day will be on display, and the names of the victims will be engraved around 30-foot waterfalls built in the footprints of the collapsed towers.
People will be able to truly understand the breadth of what happened that day and be able to remember those people who were lost that day.
The rebuilding of Ground Zero got off to a slow start years ago, mainly because of concerns about design and money. But engineers now say the work here is moving at a great pace. In fact, the memorial should be complete by the 10th anniversary of the attacks next year, and the entire site should be up and running by 2014. Back in New Orleans, the extent of the destruction makes setting such deadlines nearly impossible. The recovery here will last several more years, if not decades, and about a fifth of city residents are still displaced. Yet, in this nearly 300-year-old city, battered by water and now by oil, there's still hope.
At the end of the day, this is going to be a better city than it was at the time of Katrina.
Schools are back up and running, billions of recovery dollars are at work, and the tourism industry is rebounding. About 80% of residents are back, levees are being repaired, civic activism and volunteerism are high, political reforms in motion, and neighborhood redevelopment slowly taking shape.
I'm not sure many cities would have been able to come back after 5 years the way we have, but we're still fighting and working hard each and every day. The Saints have given this community a symbol of hope.
And above all else, New Orleans' greatest commodity remains strongly intact: a love of home.
The heroes of the Katrina recovery are average citizens, community-based organizations, faith-based leaders, grassroots activists, people who didn't wait on the government.
What happened in these cities will never and can never be forgotten, but new chapters are now being written. And though they may be very different towns, New Orleans and New York will always share a common bond and a common theme: resilience
and rebirth.
We have a true passion about what we do every day, and I feel the bond with New Orleans. I understand what they're going through, but look at what they're doing, and look at what we're doing.
And that really is the theme in both those cities. They went through these horrible tragedies, but will come out better. You know, it may take some time, but they will come out better. I think that's a powerful lesson for the entire country and the world to see.
Important for us all to realize that a lot of us are going through the same things, the same struggles also.
Absolutely, and we'll overcome them. So we'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us.